Rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
From the gridiron to the ball diamonds, from the hardwood to the ice rinks, from the fairways to the octagon and everywhere in between. If it makes headlines, it's fair game on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network. And we welcome you to the Sports Reel podcast live on the PFC Entertainment Network, along with my good buddies and fans of my apparel, Eric Mendal and Tim Sheridan. Woo, we're going to have a week, gentlemen. We are going to have a week.
It's going to be one of those shows. It's going to be one
Man,
of those shows.
I should have went with the Kansas City gear just to piss this guy off next to me.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I still haven't fully gotten over that game this past weekend, and Casey kind of pissed me off a little bit in that game, so I'm holding a little grudge against him, at least until this week when they play again. But anyways, yeah, you're a fucking traitor.
No, calm down. Calm down. I am not a traitor. I'm just supporting my team, not my team, but the team that I am rooting for the duration of the MLB playoffs. We'll get to that in just a second. I understand. Look,
that's who I was saying was going too. So
I'm as pissed off as anybody about how the season ended for the Detroit Tigers. I would have much preferred them to be in the ALCS right now with a 2-0 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays, but that's not how the cards fell. The Seattle Mariners edge. And going forward, I would prefer to see the Seattle Mariners, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, that they were going to go to the World Series. And because of my respect for the franchise, I am donning the one and only Seattle Mariners shirt that I do own.
Okay,
I would have been fucked if the Chicago Cubs had advanced because I wouldn't have known what to do at that point.
Well, they lost, and I went and bought another Tigers shirt to support them, and then, we lose, and you go buy a Mariners shirt, so that's all I'm saying.
I've actually had this. I'll be straight up. I went to Seattle back in 2020, took a tour of that stadium with my son, and I bought this shirt.
Okay, I remember you telling me that. Yep, I remember you telling me that.
So there's personal ties.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, I have
That's
posted
fair.
the
That's
link on the Facebook feed. If you are watching us on Facebook, we are also simulcasting on YouTube and Riverside.fm. If you want to be a part of the show, you can click that link. It brings you into our waiting room. I hit the button. You're on the show with us. Or you can correspond through the traditional text chat format. But be that as it may, before we get into a stock full itinerary of sports headlines, how are you guys doing?
Tim, you want to start this week?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start this week. I'm doing extra fantastic today. Had the day off. I spent it cleaning a little bit and then reading. So I read most of the day. That was pretty exciting. I like to challenge my mind with books because I'm an intelligent individual.
Anything in particular?
Dan Brown just came out with a new book, so I've been killing that. I think I got like 90 pages left in it out of 700, and I just started the other day, but it's addicting. I don't know if anybody's ever read the Dan Brown books, but they're like Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, along that, the whole Robert Langdon series. So he came out with another book in the Robert Langdon series, and I had to buy it as soon as it came out, and I'm just about done with it now. So pretty excited about that. Other than that, just rushing back home from Chase's golf lessons. Woodchuck in the backyard. So when Eric showed up, I was trying to stalk a woodchuck, trying to get him into, a position where I could shoot him, but he wouldn't.
Straight Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
Straight Elmer Fudd moment.
I mean, I didn't even take a shot because he was directly right in front of my backyard neighbor's yard right at her house, and I'm like, I can't shoot him there. And then Eric reminded me, he's like, we got 5 minutes. I was like, I got dinner on the counter. I'm like, fuck. So I had to run inside and slam 2 hot dogs and then rush down here. But other than that, doing really good. Had a good weekend. We actually didn't do anything crazy. We went to a birthday party. I'm sure. I mean, and other than that, we went grocery shopping and watched football. So I don't have any crazy stories to report back this week.
No skydiving or mountain climbing or whitewater
Those are all lies.
rafting.
So it's
No, I mean, we have a whitewater rafting trip set up in 2 weeks from now. So
I don't
we'll be
believe
doing that.
Yeah, I don't know where because it's going to be colder in 2 weeks. But okay,
Where, you like Utah or some shit?
Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
we're
not
headed up to
true. It's not
Colorado.
true because they have not asked me to watch their dog, so it's a lie. So I can confirm that. But I had a good week. Good week at work. Weekend, I took my little one and my buddy's sister and her daughter came with us. We went to the new Bavarian Inn water park. She had a blast and all that. It's definitely worth the $80 for the day pass. They serve alcohol and all that, and they got a lot. I haven't been to the other one, but I heard they have a lot more there. There's at least there's like 8 slides, for adults and all that. A pretty good area for kids and all that. And she had a blast. That's all that matters. She had a great time and I had a great time, and it was definitely worth the money, every moment of it.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
And she went poo-poo on the pot 3 times with me this weekend. So potty training's going pretty good. I'll say that. That's definitely a interesting thing to do.
Yeah,
yes,
one
sir.
of the joys of parenthood, right?
Oh yeah, definitely is. It's definitely interesting.
Well, good. I'm glad.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I'll be honest. As you guys were sitting here talking about it, I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell did I do this last week? And I know I spent some time with my girl. We didn't do anything extraordinary. Oh, you know what I did?
Stayed up until 1:30 a.m. on Friday night.
Well, I had TV Friday.
Okay.
For the Fatal 4-Way. Samantha and I went out to Great Lakes Crossing afterwards and had dinner. That was a little bit of a disappointment, but be that as it may.
Where'd you go?
Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, fuck
that place has gone downhill. That's not even worth it anymore.
It really has, man.
It's not even worth it anymore.
We went there a year ago when we took her boys, and it was fine. We went this last weekend, and like everything changed except the prices that went up.
Oh yeah, of course.
It was okay, but it wasn't anything I couldn't do at home.
Yeah, it's definitely not the money you spend there. It's not worth the money you spend there.
No, well, lesson learned.
The only good place in that mall to eat is Miyako. Fucking love Miyako.
We talked about that as
the only place worth going in that place is Bass Pro. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but unless you're gonna eat jerky or fucking cashews, you're not gonna have a dinner there.
They have fish in the ponds. You can spear one of them. Then you have dinner.
I got sucked into a TV show.
I got you.
And I realize I'm a little bit late to the party on this, but I got I started watching that Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. Holy shit, I'm hooked.
Oh, it was you.
It was.
That's a good. Are you through? I haven't finished off season 2 yet, but have you finished season 1 yet?
Yes, I have. I am about 3 episodes into season 2.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great show. All of the Taylor Sheridan shows are fucking fabulous. Like, I haven't found one I haven't liked yet. Whether it's Yellowstone or any of the spinoffs or, Tulsa King. He's got, what the hell is the name of that other one? Shit, I can't think of it right now. The Lioness. Lioness is really good, especially if you like military style, thrillers. Well, that one's really good too.
Well, let's talk about these lines in a little bit. We got sports to talk about, boys.
We are talking about sports.
Well, before we get into the NFL
Landman. Have you watched Landman yet?
Landman's great. I did finish the full season when I was here watching their dogs in one weekend, so it is great.
With
Billy Bob Thornton. Oh yeah, that one's definitely recommend watching.
I saw they played a commercial for it. I'm like, oh, that might be something.
Oh, it's definitely. I binge watched it when I was here. I binge watched it. It's that good.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll check that out once I get through Tulsa King. I can only do one show at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have a shit ton of time to watch, TV. But it's Stallone. That he anything he's doing,
I heard that.
I'm checking out. So.
Oh, by the way, sports related show that's actually really good is Chad Powers. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
It's fucking awesome. It's a good comedy. It's based off. Remember when Eli Manning did his little thing where he dressed up? Where he went to a college and he
dressed up for Cal. No, not Cal, but yes, he did dress up for college.
So
did Jared Goff.
Yeah, and that was a whole spin off of that. It's like the undercovers or some shit. But Eli did it, and he became a character called Chad Powers to try out for this college team. Well, he did a spin off show about it. And it's fucking phenomenal so far. I'm really enjoying it. There's only a few episodes out so far, but it's fucking hilarious.
I'll check that out. All right. Let's look at what's going on right now with the continuation of the Major League Baseball postseason. We are in the LCSs, as it were. We're down to the final four of Major League Baseball this year. The American League Championships Series, the Seattle Mariners currently have a 2-0 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays. And on the National League side of things, the Los Angeles Dodgers are taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. We made our predictions here a couple of weeks ago on the show, and it looks like I thought Toronto was going to be I thought this series was going to go all 7 games, straight up. But right now,
It could.
But the way the Mariners are playing, we've talked about it time and time again. Momentum is a serious thing, man, and Seattle has it.
Well, when you go 15 innings deep to get to that moment, you have a lot of momentum. You got a lot of momentum because you definitely seen the depth in pitching we had for Detroit, because that was not the problem with that game.
Well, you can see the depth in pitching they had for Seattle also in that game. Like both those teams.
Nah, not true. Maybe true, but we also did have the bases loaded at one point with 1 out, and that's when you got to make a play.
We shit the bed there.
You had the bases loaded. You got to make it. You got to get one guy in. You had to do something.
But that's been the problem. I mean, we'll get to the Tigers here in a minute, but that's been a problem for the last, since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Just 100%. Not, they couldn't string in. I mean, they couldn't get a string of hits going on.
Except game 4.
Yeah. Game 4, but still, they didn't string a lot in. They just hit quite a few homers and had a few things. It wasn't like a long string. I mean, it wasn't like they were stacking runs. The last time I really seen them stack runs is when they played the Yankees there a couple months ago.
That's fair.
And they beat them like 12-1. You know what I mean? Ever since then, the bats just kind of slowed down. But yeah, I think my prediction was Seattle and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hated doing that because, Tigers were still well into that, and they were still well into it in that game. I ended up going to bed around 1, and I had to work the next morning, and Amy was falling asleep in the chair, and she's like, "Did they win?" I'm like, "No, it's still fucking going. It's like they're going into the 13th inning." And I'm like, all right, it was halfway through the 13th. It was the middle of the 13th, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I was like, they're going to lose. I was like, it's just, we're going to run out of pitchers. Like, honestly, and I just felt that way. I was like, we're going to run out of pitchers. We're going to give up hits, and we can't string hits together. It's not going to happen. They're going to lose. We're going to wake up in the morning and see that Seattle won, unfortunately. I didn't want to be negative like that, but at the same time, I knew at one point we're going to have to fucking throw somebody out there who's going to give up a hit. And we were just running out. I think they took Skubal out an inning too early. I think
I 100% agree.
Left him in there one more inning, I think that game would have been ours. But
because if you look at it, the 7th inning is one that they got that
hit to tie it up.
Run to tie it up.
Yeah.
And if you left Skubal in, he's still throwing 100 miles an hour in the 6th inning, only at 99 pitches. One more inning wouldn't have killed him. Well, he would have wanted to stay in.
What I heard is that Skubal came in and actually said he was done. So
that could be
whether
true
or not, if he feels like he's done, how do you argue?
Well, then that's fair. Then that's fair. Unless AJ is like, hey, you think you can go one more? But if your pitcher comes up to you that already got 13 strikeouts in 6 innings, you kind of got to call it, because he pitched his ass off that game, and I stayed up for the 15th innings. After the top of the 15, I'm like, I gotta go to bed. It's 1:30. I gotta take my daughter to the water park the next morning. I gotta be up at 7. I was like, I gotta get some sleep. But I paid attention to the score when I went to bed, and that's when Seattle won it. And it was tough, man. It was tough because I kept telling myself, one more inning. And then they would get out of a jam somehow with a double play the last 3 innings. I'm like, just got to do something. And I was at the edge of my seat the whole time.
Yeah, it was certainly, I mean, it was exciting in some regards to see it just keep going and keep going. It's like, man, these little glimpses of hope. Can they pull a miracle out of their ass? But it just was not going to be. And
well, especially when Seattle's, intentionally walking Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green. When they're walking their best hitters and they know no one else after them can hit. Yeah, right. Your best chance was Kerry Carpenter in that game because he's the only one that put up points.
You watch that game back and you look at it, they only threw sliders.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Sliders. They threw one fastball during the game and Carpenter hit it out of the park. And after that, they just went back to nothing but sliders. And it just showed the weakness of the Tigers. You got to figure that shit out in the offseason because if you can't hit sliders, everybody's going to attack you with sliders and you're going to go to the bottom of the league again. You are professional ball players. Don't chase a slider out of the zone. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I watched Torkelson do it fucking nonstop where he's swinging at balls that are in the fucking dirt. And it's like, dude, knock it the fuck off. I understand it looks like it's coming in there, but they're throwing nothing but sliders. And 90% of these motherfucking things are balls. Just sit back and just let them go. You know what I mean? Force them to throw you a fastball or something over the plate.
Yeah, I think their pitcher was 15 to 20 pitches behind Skubal.
Yeah.
Because he just kept getting them to swing. And I'm just like, you are killing it. It's not. But then as soon as they took their starting pitcher out, that's when Carpenter got that fastball and fucking killed it.
Yeah, we need some bats in this lineup, and that should be priority one.
Well, no, priority one is signing Skubal. That is priority one, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either.
But the only player you got to sign is him. Everyone else, you don't have to really worry about free agents till 2029. So you got a lot of room to throw Skubal some money over 8 years. Well, I'm just saying.
From what I'm hearing, they just re-signed Coach.
They just extended his contract. AJ Hinch, yep.
They extended him, and from what I'm hearing is the owners are opening up the resources to pay Skubal whatever the fuck he wants. So
that's what you do.
I hope
the Tigers are going to give him a number, and it's going to be a good number because look at the last 2 big pitchers that we had go. Verlander got a ring. Matt Scherzer got a ring. They all left and went. So it was you got like AJ Hinch said going into game 5, when you hand the ball to the best pitcher in the league, you have a lot of confidence. And he proved it in game 5. 13 strikeouts, that kid can play.
That's fuck. When I think about that, I go, at the same time, look at analytics and go, Skubal pitched against Seattle 4 times this year.
Lost all 4.
Lost all 4.
But it's not
leading into that game, he pitched in 3. Lost all 3. Statistically, you got to think he's due one at some point. You know what I mean?
They went to 15 innings. It's just, if he had bats behind him, he would have got that win.
Yeah. Where the fuck are the bats? So these are the things, and I posted that I wanted to get into a discussion of what we need this offseason to make this team better. And obviously, even if you say bats, we need bats, right? We need people who can hit. But our guys can hit. They proved it for the first half of the season. What happened after the All-Star break did people figure them out? I mean, I'd like to go back and see the ratio of sliders thrown to them in that time frame compared to any other pitch. You know what I mean? Did people start figuring out what Seattle did in the playoffs there, in game 5 and only throw sliders to these guys?
Could have been.
Or do we need to spend more time training these guys on how to identify a slider and fucking, hit a slider?
I feel like that's part of it right there because this is such a young team.
Yeah,
I think
that is
what
true.
We need is 1 or 2 established veterans.
You need some veterans. You need some veterans in there to teach the young guys. But you're gonna throw Screwball an offer. You're gonna do it this offseason, I feel like. Now, if he don't think it's enough, he's gonna go, is he gonna go to LA or New York where they'll be like, hey, beat this, and they will, because they're both contenders and they will beat that offer because there's no cap in the MLB. So it's like, okay, so do you ride out his contract? Do you get his replacement this year and you have Screwball and another great pitcher and get some other bats in here and hope next year's the year you can put it all together? Like, that's really, you got to think about that too. Because as the franchise, best interest is you trade him this year, because who knows what you can get for him now, because he is the best pitcher in the league.
Right. Oh, you can get a ton for him.
And so it's like, do you try to get that, or do you ride that pony for the last year, try to get another pitcher on par with him, so you have another road. You can never use too many pitchers, but you got to get some bats in there too, because I hear they're calling up some players from AAA that are doing pretty good. So it's like, that's young players too.
So here's the deal with that. They're not going to do anything with them. I mean, if they don't re-sign them, they're going to hang on to them about halfway through the season, regardless, before the trade deadline, because they're going to try to see which way this team's going. If it's going really good and they haven't re-signed them yet, they'll probably re-sign them for half the, at that point in time, or they'll ride them out for the year and sign a bunch of other people and use that money elsewhere, because you still have them for another year, irregardless.
Yeah,
I mean, we have them next year. His trade value halfway through the year next year will be at this highest peak, because people will be looking for that fucking, not even a loaner player, but just to get, it's technically a loaner player for half the year anyways, to try to get them over the hump if we're not doing that hot at that point in time. But I think we'll be doing just fine. I think they re-sign them in the off season. They, like you said, they don't really have anybody else to resign
till 2029. And that's when Riley Green, Carpenter, all the other big names come up, and it's like, that's 4 years down the road.
Yeah, and they have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. So they have the ability to spend money if we can get the Illiches to open up the fucking wallet and spend some money on this guy and not let him walk like Verlander did and everything else.
And Matt Scherzer. We had both those guys and we couldn't bring home a ring.
Yeah, it's fucking, it's stupid. Like, just sign them. Just get it over with and sign them. I mean, I've had my thoughts on it in the past, like, worried about giving him all the money in the world because of how fast he throws, and he's already had 2 Tommy John surgeries. I think it was 2. I know 1 for sure, but I think it's 2. And you start looking like, how long can how long can that shoulder hang up for, or that elbow? You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's why you're
throwing that hard. And is that why he only went, I think, what did he go, 97 pitches in that game before?
99.
Like, 99. I remember fucking, when Verlander was in the playoffs and they put him out there, I think one time he almost threw 140 pitches.
I knew he was at like 120.
He wasn't fucking around. Like, he would stay in the entire game.
But he didn't want to be taken out. And, I think, I don't want to say it, but I think Schoolball's in the back of his head. He's like, I got free agents after next year. So I think maybe he's trying to save his arm. I don't know. Because he knows that team, and he knew that.
Well, it might not even be free agency, dude. It might just go, if I hurt myself right now, my contract's not going to be what it could be.
That's true too.
So I need to stay healthy. So maybe Scooba was thinking his own pocketbook in that moment.
It could be, because sports don't last forever, so you gotta make as much money as you can.
If it's true that he said he was done, you know what I mean? Because it didn't look like he was fucking done to me.
It didn't look like he wanted to fuck,
like 101 mile an hour.
Yeah,
like that ain't done, bro. Like, you start throwing in the low 90s because you're fucking tired, but when you're still throwing 101, like, stay the fuck out there for one more inning, give your team another inning, and then we could just put Will Vest in and just finish out the game. Like, that would have been, I mean, it's hard to say whether or not they would have got a hit off of either one of those guys. Scooble did have issues with giving up home runs against these guys. You know what I mean? So he didn't give up a lot of hits, but he did give up home runs. So it's just a matter of time somebody lining up on him. But I think the outcome of the game could have been a little bit different if he would just stayed in one more inning. Just give him fucking, 20 more pitches. Go to 120. Push yourself to 120 and see what happens. You know what I mean? But instead, 99, you're out. Fucking Verlander go 140.
Yeah,
no questions asked. They just leave him out there.
It could be like it was in the back of his head. He's had 2 of those surgeries, so it could be in the back of his head about his shoulder. Who knows?
Yeah,
we don't know. We don't know if it's true or not. He said he was done. He pitched a hell of a game. We all seen that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think, is he going to win a second Cy Young this year?
be pretty close.
He's got to be.
He's got to be pretty close to it.
One of the top 2 or 3. I would imagine you would have to be, especially after what we just saw here with his.
Game 5. Come on, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I gotta believe, from my perspective, he is the front runner. But he also plays for the team that has the Old English D on his hat, and for whatever reason, and I've said this, I don't give a fuck. There is a prejudice against Detroit teams, and if he doesn't get it, that's the reason why. Right there, straight up, hands down.
I could see that.
But you're right. Priority 1 should be re-signing him. Priority 2, or 1B, as it were, get some fucking bats. Get some veteran leadership in that locker room that this team can rally behind. We heard the reports that Miguel Cabrera was in the locker room and gave this very impassionate speech, and it lit a fire under this team's ass. Now, we need somebody like that on the day-to-day that is going to keep this team on the rails, because, again, the inexperience, the youth of this team bubbled up to the surface, unfortunately. But there's a lot to build off of, and that is the promising part of all this. Yes, they are a young team, but there is so much potential there. We just got to fine-tune this shit.
I think if you can get 2 more decent bats, so you'll have those 2. You have Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, and I can't remember the other one, our shortstop.
It's Baez.
Yeah,
Baez is a veteran.
So you got those 5 guys that can actually hit and can take these younger guys and actually teach them something. I think it'd be just fine, because they showed they can play in the beginning of the season. You get a couple more bats in there to help, Carpenter, Green, Baez, and all that, and you'll be just fine. You don't need a lot. You just need a couple.
Torkelson can hit too.
Yeah, he
just had a very bad fucking,
bad series.
Bad series. I think he had 30 fucking home runs this year. So Torkelson can hit.
But then if you can teach, so he can hit. So you just, hey, this is how you know if it's a slide or not. This is how you can tell. This is how you hit them. Like, you know what I mean? You teach them those little things after being in the game for so long. That veteran leadership, like Jason said.
The playoffs will continue tonight, as the Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers will be playing Game 2 of the NLCS. Game 3 of the ALCS will be tomorrow on FS1. Again, Seattle has a 2-0 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays. Now they're going back to Seattle for this, and it's going to be real interesting, man, to see how that team is going to be received, and whether or not Toronto is going to be able to rise to the occasion. Take nothing away from the Blue Jays. We have talked about them all season. They are dangerous. But they, for whatever reason, they seemed a little bit off in their home stadium of Skydome, or Rogers Center, as it's called now. But playing in Seattle is a different animal. We've seen this. It doesn't matter if it's with the Mariners, doesn't matter if it's with the Seahawks. There is something unique about the crowd experience in Seattle, Washington. And if Toronto does not win Game 3, you might as well just hang it up. They're not going to do it. They need to win Game 3 if they are expected to advance to the World Series. Because Seattle, again, is on this wave of momentum, and it's going to take something significant to knock them off right now. It just, in my estimation.
So 2 thoughts there for me. One, do you think Toronto, because they finished their last series out so quickly and they had to sit on the couch and wait for this series to end with Detroit, really kind of put a damper and slowed them down a little bit? You know what I mean? You played hot, and then all of a sudden you had to sit there for a little bit waiting for this past series, whereas Seattle was able to jump right out of the Detroit series and 2 days later start this series. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you had that momentum. You went off a game 15 win. By the way, I just seen this stat. game 5 of 15 innings had 8.59 million views. The second largest audience was the Tigers-Yankees game 5 in 2011.
Damn.
8.59 million views that Friday.
That's
insane.
That's Detroit sports people stepping up and wanting to see Detroit sports win fucking championships. So that's why the Lions were the number 1 viewed team last year in the league. And that's huge number right there for a baseball game that goes till 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. And it's just like you said, it's drawing a blank right now.
Drawing a blank. But my question.
Yeah, your question.
Jason, did you have some thoughts on that?
I did, Tim, and I'll equate it to this, and you will understand this wholeheartedly. You know what happens when, like, as us, and I'm just using this as a comparison, for us, when we were wrestling, anytime that we had significant time off, it took us a minute to knock off that ring rust once we got back in the ring, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened with the Toronto Blue Jays. They were rusty because they had time off, whereas Seattle has been game ready for the last 2 months consistently. They haven't had a break. And you would think that after going 15 innings that they would be fatigued and they would be a little worse for wear. That is not the case with this team. And that's what we've seen all season long. That's what I've been watching from afar all season long. They slowly but surely started rising up through to the top of their division. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they have not had a chance to not be game ready where the Blue Jays did. And now we're seeing what happens. Same thing with the Tigers. Same thing with the Lions. That's what happens. You give these guys an extended break. It takes them a minute to get that motor running. The problem is that what we're seeing with Toronto and what I'm worried about for that team. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but like their fans are worried.
I am, because I picked them to go to the World Series, so I am. So yes.
By the time they are game ready, it's over.
Yeah, it's gonna be game 4. It's gonna be do or die, and then you have to win straight 4 games, and it's hard to do that.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That's happened before.
Not against the Mariners.
It's any sport. It's happened before, so it can happen.
Their rotation is too deep. Like, they pitch too well, and I mean,
I hope it happens now. I hope there's a game 4.
One, you picked Toronto to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
2, this was gonna be my second point to that. Is I knew it was never going to happen because the Pope.
Yeah, I fucking knew he was going that direction. Damn it!
The Pope would never allow it to happen. He sprinkled some Tom Cruise magic dust on the situation, then all of a sudden, Toronto fucking sucks.
He fucking baited me. He threw that worm out on that fucking hook, and I fucking bit it hard. He had me. He fucking got me there. Fuck you,
I
Tim.
knew exactly where he was going with it.
I thought he was too, but then he fucking built it up a little bit more. I'm like, oh wow, he's not going to say the fucking Pope, and then he did.
Seattle,
Tim, shut up. Just shut up. I'm over with you. You brought up the Pope. I'm over it.
I haven't watched any of the NL games. Like, what's the standings over there? Who's up in that series so far?
Isn't it LA 1-0?
The Dodgers are up one game to none.
Okay. So, like, my pick, when I originally said was going to be a Seattle and the Dodgers. And if that's the case, if I get that way, I'm rooting on Seattle all the way because I hate fucking teams that spend that much fucking money. Like, I fucking hate it. It's just the equivalent of a fucking super team. I'm sick of seeing these fucking high dollar teams who can spend these in these large markets, who can drop fucking $1 gazillion on the shit, fucking go on and win this shit all the fucking time. So I'd be rooting on Seattle all the way. And Seattle, watching them play against the Tigers played them good. You know what I mean? Like, both those teams, in my opinion, were very, very evenly matched. You weren't getting a lot of hits on either side. You know what I mean? I think the Tigers got the better of that entire series in game 4.
Well, they did. They definitely found their weakness, and they exploited it very quickly.
Yeah. So, we have a lot. And this was a question that I brought up on thing before we leave baseball here real quick. I brought it up on, I made a post and I shared it all over the damn places. But now that the Tigers are out, and I know we've talked about this in the past, about how we would feel how this season went and whether it was a successful season or if it was a fail of a season. How do we feel now knowing that the season is over? Like, because before we were guessing hypotheticals of how we would feel or where they would go. But now that it's actually over, Jason, you start. How do you feel this season went? Was it I thought, fuck, I can't talk. Success?
Yeah, because they were knocking on the doorstep of the ALCS, and given the performance that they put in the divisional series that last game, yeah, it was a success. Now, if they had gone out there and completely shit the bed and were dominated 8-0, 11-2, something like that, I'd be like, nah, this was a popcorn fart in church at the end of the day. But man,
Mine's usually a Taco Bell fart in church, but it's okay.
The Tigers gave us hardcore fans, loyal fans, not these bandwagon jumpers. Which, let me go ahead and personally say, you can send me your hate tweets. Every single one of you can fuck right off. Every single one of you. That all of a sudden, because they lost, the Tigers suck. No, they don't suck. No, they don't suck. There's a lot to hang your hat on. There is a lot to build on in this offseason. Overall, I give the season a B- grade. There's a lot of hope, and you can chalk this up as a success. Yes.
I'm hoping it comes years to come. Like you got a young team, you get some more veteran players in there. 2 to 3 more years, all those young players are going to be veterans too, and then we're going to be knocking on the World Series door every year. That's what I want. I want them to be not a super team, but I want them to be consistently making a run at the World Series and developing players just to keep that rotation coming. Because players come and go, but you got to keep developing, and I think they can do that.
Absolutely.
With that young team they got, you just get a couple of veterans players, help them learn to hit those sliders, see the ball, be the ball, and all that stuff. And you just gotta.
You might not even need a couple extra players, just different fucking hitting coach. Apparently,
that could be it too. You could just go out and find the best hitting coach that's available this year and get him, and that could be a big change.
All right, so my thoughts on it.
No one asked, but okay.
I asked the fucking question, you asshole. Anyways, I think it was a success. I think we fared better in the divisional series than we did last year. We went a little bit deeper. We took them, to a game 5, to 15th fucking inning. To me, that's a success. Like Eric was saying, it's all young players. These guys are going to get more experience. They're going to, go a little bit farther every year, and we went a little bit farther than we did last year. I mean, that chalks it up to a success. Did they have the ability to make it all the way this year? Sure. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the reality of what happened. They got slow. Bats gave up on them. It's going to take a little bit of time to pull this thing together. We do need a few more bats. You need somebody, a veteran player who can handle the stress. And I think, the bright lights of the playoffs might get to some of these younger guys. The nerves, and that's going to go away the longer they're in the league. So they're going to get better. But yeah, I chalk it up to a success.
Sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I hit my thing on my head. Continue to talk.
I've just lost all my train of thought. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Good.
Damn it.
Good. That's what I want to do.
Fuck me up.
Good. That's my goal, is to fuck you
Damn
up.
it. Anyways, yeah, chalk it up to a success. They're only going to get better over time. As long as we don't go backwards and they keep going forward, how could you call it a failure? You know what I mean? I mean, it takes time to build these things up, and I think they're honestly doing it the right way. They didn't drop a fucking shit ton of money on a bunch of fucking players from around the league that they picked up in free agency or signed from other teams to try to put together a fucking super team. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it with all young guys, and these guys are going to grow into something really special. And I mean, I agree with Eric there. You give it a few more years, they could be competing every fucking year.
I'd say 2 more years, because you're like you said, last year we made the playoffs. We went a little bit at the very end. This year we went to game 5 of the divisional, 15 innings. Your players are getting developed. They just need a little bit more, and it's going to be, because I hear of them calling up a lot of players from AAA this year. Because there's a lot of that coming up. I'm like, that's just what you need. That's, so these guys this year that were in that game 5 are going to be veteran players, those young guys,
Yeah, and who knows what's
those bright lights, game 50, game 5, that's everything. That's what you dream of as a kid, playing in any game 5, game 7 of any series of anything. That's what you dream of.
I mean, that's not what I dreamed of.
Well, yeah, you dreamed of hot dogs and stuff. So
just had hot dogs for dinner.
I know, that's why I said that.
And hot dogs you could buy at a ballpark. They're delicious.
That's why you dreamed of
I had different dreams. It wasn't playing, in a game 5.
No.
Never lived out my dreams, Eric. I'm a failure.
So did I. It's okay. I could say why I didn't, but I won't. It's okay. But let's have a little segment. We're done.
Did you have anything else to fill in before we move
Jason,
into?
I'm sorry.
Nope. I said everything I needed to say with this at this point. Obviously next week as the LCSs move along here, we could very well be looking at what at least one half of the World Series is going to look like. So, stay tuned, as it were. And of course, if you haven't done so already, hit the like and follow button on the Sports Reel Podcast Facebook page.
Do it.
We will keep everybody up to speed, up to date on everything happening in the LCSs of MLB this year. But let's go ahead and make the transition over to the National Football League.
Not yet.
Eric's got a segment he needs to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What has started?
Here's his music.
I'll take it.
Hold on. No, I can do better.
We're gonna have to work on that. We're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
Just not in the podcast. But
yeah.
But the NHL season has started.
Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. Has anyone been paying attention?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact,
what are the Wings right now? What are the Wings right now? Then
they are 3-2-1, or they are 3-2.
They're 2-1 right now.
I'm sorry, 2-1. I'm looking at.
Yeah, they're 2-1. They home opener. Shit the bed against the Canadian, Montreal, 5-1. Did not look good at all. Toronto came to town. We beat Toronto Maple Leafs. Then we went to Toronto and we beat them. So we're 2-1 right now. Our best, the last time we had a away record or winning record away was 2016. That's the last year we made the playoffs. So I'm hoping they keep that going this year. They play Florida tomorrow at home. It's going to be a tough task, Florida Panthers defending champs. So I'm hoping they can keep this going. And yeah, I'm really going to pay attention this year hard to the NHL, see what's going on.
Yeah, as it stands right now, they are tied for second place with 4 points total with Montreal. At the top of their division are the Panthers and the Bruins. Rounding out the division are the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Ottawa Senators, and the Buffalo Sabres. Eric, let me ask you this real quick, because you do pay attention to hockey pretty close. And we made mention of this last week on the program here, but do you feel like the Red Wings move to the Eastern Conference has been a detriment to their success, whereas they were a powerhouse in the Western side of things for a long time?
It was definitely hard for them to adjust, because back then when the West was all big body, physical hockey, the East was speed and agile and all that. So then they were always kind of in the middle, because they're in that weird zone where they kind of shouldn't be in the West, but they should have been in the East. I do think it had something it did affect them, because it's two different styles of hockey. Right. You look at the West, and back then it was all it was big defenders, and you had big wings, and you had, centers that were big, and it's a very physical game out there. That's why I feel like mostly championships went to the Western Conference, because it was, you just you bullied them. You played hockey. Yeah, you overpowered them. You played strong hockey. You played the physical part of the game. But then in the East, so now you transfer that, it's a lot of agileness, a lot of speed, more finesse. And I think it's taken them a little bit longer to adjust to that than it should have. But also, you had such good development. You found Pavel Datsyuk in the 6th round, and people still talk about how good he was. You had Hendrik Zetterberg, you had Cronwall. So, yeah, it's just you had that development, and I feel like something happened where it took a couple steps down, and now Yzerman's trying to get it back up to that point.
You as a fan, do you still have faith in Yzerman as the GM?
100%.
Okay.
I think when he was in Tampa, he wanted to win now. So he made those moves. He did all that really right away. I think he's trying to build a dynasty like the Red Wings had before, like how they made the playoffs 25 years in a row. I think he's trying to get us back to that point. So he's really trying to develop players, develop coaches, get the right people where they need to be. I really think that's what his goal is. And I think they will make the playoffs this year, and it will show everyone Detroit, like, hey, calm down. He's trying to make it. We're not just a one-hit wonder. Tampa Bay won 1 or 2 Stanley Cups, and now they're relevant, but they're not as scary as they used to be. I think he's trying to make us a powerhouse every year.
I would tend to agree with that, and it's special because of his ties to this city, to this team. So that's why I'm not really stressing all that much, and I'm certainly not calling for his job like a lot of other fans are, because they want shit right now. There is no patience anymore.
No.
If you're not winning right now, well, then we need to make changes. We've seen that. Tim has mentioned it with the Chicago Bears, and you see what kind of dumpster fire that entire team is, albeit they got away with the win last night. But overall, you got to have patience. And that's what I do appreciate with Yzerman. He's not here for just a job. He legitimately cares about this franchise, and I do appreciate that.
Well, when you become the captain your second year after being drafted at 18 years old, there's a lot of ties here for him. He's won multiple Stanley Cups here. The people in Detroit love him, and we always will. He's not just trying to do let's be contenders this year. No, let's be contenders multiple years. Let's make the Eastern Conference Championship, series every year. That's what he wants to do. And I 100%, that's what I want. We ain't called Hockey Town for no reason.
Looking ahead to this next week's schedule for the Red Wings, tomorrow they will be at home against the Panthers. No game on Thursday. Friday they will be home against Tampa Bay Lightning. Sunday they will be hosting the Edmonton Oilers. So you look at that, man, and like they're getting tested right out of the gate here.
Oh yeah,
these are some of the premier teams in the NHL right now.
Yeah, 100%.
And you have an opportunity to truly make a statement. And where they're sitting right now at 2-1. All right, we're off to a good start. Let's build that momentum. So
that's a big, and hockey and baseball, momentum's key. And every sport it's key, but I feel like those ones where you're playing multiple games a week, you need that momentum, you need that good chemistry in that locker room.
Absolutely.
But let's get into the National Football League there, Timothy.
Yeah, Jason, did you have a lead in for us there? Because it sounded like you were about to lead us in there.
He did.
Well, I'm looking at our predictions from last week.
Oh God! Oh.
I think we all shit the bed on a few of those, and I want to get to that here in a minute.
Yeah, in a minute. In that minute, I'm gonna go take a potty break, then we'll get to that.
Okay. Eric doesn't want to find out that he's still in last place.
No, I don't.
He really is.
Yeah.
Tim, you went 10-5 last week.
Fuck yeah, I did.
And both Eric and I went 9-6. Overall, you are very much in the lead with 58-35. I am at 54-38, and Eric, bless his heart, 51-41.
I mean, we're all. It's still in striking distance for everybody.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I mean, it's like there's a few things that I've called that my heart was one way, but I called it a different way. Like there's just certain matchups that I think this is going to be a tougher game for this team. And it's proven to be the last few weeks that it did turn out to be a tougher game than what it should have been. And that was, the Giants and the Eagles. I said last week on this fucking thing, I'm like, this is going to be a closer game than what people think it is. And I was leaning towards the Giants, but my brain said the Eagles, but my heart said the Giants, and the Giants fucking smacked them. But what I wanted to say, I put this in our little header there, is like, when did we enter this alternate universe? Like something happened. We're in an alternate universe now where all the really good teams are just losing to shit teams. Like this is a couple weeks in a row where some of the best teams in the NFL are just losing to shit teams, and we have to be in an alternate universe. Something happened and switched timelines. Like we're in a fucking different timeline now.
Okay,
we gotta be.
Let's hear how bad I did this week. Let's fucking hear it.
But you actually didn't do bad.
Yeah, you went 9-6 last week.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah.
So, both you and I went 9-6. Tim went 10-5.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, he's very.
God damn it. Sorry, I'm pardon my language.
And I could have been better if I just went with my heart.
It's not your heart. You just gotta you just gotta think about, like you said, this year of the NFL is just it's
we've switched timelines.
It's weird. Like the Giants beat the Eagles Thursday night. What the even AJ Brown said, we lost to the fucking Giants. Yeah, like come on. What is going on in Philly?
Okay, so let's talk about the Giants real quick before we talk about this whole alternate universe thing, because obviously because Jackson Dart and Scatterbo, those guys are fucking good.
Scatterbo's a psycho.
Yeah, he's a psycho. I mean, he's got to have CTE for fucking, like, his whole brain is just one big case of CTE. That guy's just fucking nuts.
Pretty
and
much.
Jackson Dart looks like he could be. I mean, currently it's his first year. Nobody really gets him. We see this a lot with first year quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Jay Daniels last year, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, CJ Stroud a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? They kind of just come out and they surprise everybody. But so far, I think that combination of those two players is putting New York on the right path. But
they are.
In my mind, I mean, you look at it. We got to be in an alternate universe. I mean, there's no reason the Giants should beat the Eagles.
Not that I thought. Like, the Giants have a pretty good defense, but not good enough to, hold Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown and Smith and Hurts and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Falcons beat the fucking Bills. Like, what the fuck is going on? We know why the Ravens are losing right now. Everybody, without Lamar, they're nothing. If the Bills didn't have Josh Allen, they'd be nothing. You know what I mean? But these are the teams that are supposed to be standing out, and they're not. You know what I mean? Like, it's something weird's fucking going on, and I haven't figured it out yet.
I'm calling it right now, though. I'm calling it right now. Baker Mayfield MVP this year.
I don't think so.
Who the fuck is playing better than Baker Mayfield right now?
Statistically,
nobody.
Statistically, Baker Mayfield's the more exciting person playing, but the person leading in a lot of categories right now is not who you're going to want to hear.
It's Stafford, isn't it?
No, it's actually fucking Patrick Mahomes.
He's not leading in passing yards. I know that. He's not even top five. He's not even top five.
He's come up. Well, he's
not even top five. He's not even top five, and you're saying, "Oh, it's he's the best MVP." No, for some reason,
I'm going to call it right now. You're calling him. I'm going to call fucking Patrick Mahomes MVP this year.
No,
and I'll tell you why. You watch his last three games.
Tell you what. Download FanDuel. You put $100 on Patrick Mahomes. I'll put $100 on Baker Mayfield. See who wins.
No, I don't bet money.
Well.
But I'm just telling you, like, I just have this fucking feeling, and usually my fucking feelings are right, and I'm going to stick with that one. And I'm also, just like I said, fucking defensive player of the year, Aiden Hutchinson, and he's on a fucking path to get there. He's already had, what's he got, 6 sacks already, 3 fucking...
Don't worry, Micah Parsons will win that somehow.
Strip fumbles, fucking... Or 3 strips, 6, like, his numbers are crazy. He should have 9 fucking sacks already if a bunch of...
He's doing good.
Fucking a safety and 4 strip sacks and fucking, like, he's on a fucking...
He's doing good, yeah.
But anyways, let me get to my fucking games real quick. We're talking about the Giants and the Eagles. Giants 34, Eagles 17. Jackson Dart, 195 yards, 1 touchdown. Scatterbo, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns. Robinson, 84 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Compared to Hurts, 283 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Barkley, once again, got held to 58 yards rushing.
And he had that in the first half.
Yeah.
He had that in the first half, and then it was just nothing.
Yeah, and Goddard was their best receiver at 110 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. So the only connection he really had was with his tight end.
Something's going on in Philly, and they need to fix it. real fast if they want a chance.
Just like I said before on this podcast, the only time that they go to the Super Bowl is when they need to fucking kill a three-peat. Like, that's it. And there's no three-peats happening this year, so they're not going back to the Super Bowl. I
think it's more than that, but okay.
Well, I think a lot of it is like there's a lot going on that team right now. And if you look up at the sidelines, it looked like they gave up about halfway through this game.
Yeah, something's not.
They were pissed.
There's in the locker room, something's not right.
Yeah, there's no team element there. Yeah. And I just saw that Zadarius Smith, who signed with him earlier this year, that we wanted back, just retired from him today. So
personal issues, he says. But
yes.
Who knows?
I just think it because he knows that they're not going to go to a fucking Super Bowl and he wants a ring. So he's just like, fuck it. I'm not going to waste a whole year here if they're just going to do shit.
Well, and also he did say personal. So who knows? It could be that. It could be personal reasons, what he said, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What's the next game that you got stats for?
Rams 17, Ravens 3. No surprise there. I think we all picked the Rams last week to win this one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I picked Baltimore.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You know they didn't have a quarterback?
Well, I was going for the upset, You
got to stop doing that. There's shit on the line now.
No, look, it worked with Atlanta.
It did.
Anyways, Rams 17 over the Ravens 3. Stafford 181 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Williams 50 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Higbee 40 yards receiving, 1 touchdown.
How many yards rushing?
50.
Okay.
He got held to 50, which sucked because I got him on my fucking fantasy league.
That's usually not him. Usually they also have a good core defense. Baltimore does.
They do. That's the only thing. I mean, I'd say the only thing holding them in the games, but they haven't been held in the game in the last few weeks. They've been getting crushed. You had fucking Rush, 72 yards passing. Derrick Henry actually broke 100 and went 122 rushing, no touchdowns. Obviously, they only scored 3, so they got a field goal. And then Flowers went 46 yards receiving. Another one of those games that wasn't a surprise. So, I mean,
they should have called Joe Flacco.
Here's one that'll make Jason happy. Panthers 30
Panthers.
over the Cowboys 27.
That made me happy too.
Happy.
Is that? Did you call the Panthers there?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I did.
Did you call the Panthers?
Eric did too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that was one that I gave up. I didn't see that going that way.
I honestly didn't either, but I'm really happy because George Pickens is doing really good in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean,
him and Dak Prescott have very good chemistry going. And I was watching that game and like it was close. It was a very close game.
Yeah. I mean, it was down to the wire there. It was a good game. I did watch that one. Young went 199 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Dowdle 183 yards rushing. It's a hell of a fucking game.
Yeah,
and then he also had 56 yards receiving plus one touchdown receiving. So I mean, you look at that. That's 239 all-purpose yards there. That's a fucking hell of a game.
Did great.
Compared to the Cowboys, Dak had 261 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Williams had 29 yards rushing. To hold him down to that, because he's been doing really good this year too. To hold him to 29, that's a big thing. Then Pickens 168 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Pickens has been going off. I honestly
he's had a touchdown in the last 5 games.
Yeah, and
he's
I know
been doing very good.
I know CD Lamb is coming back here pretty soon, but I still would make Pickens your number 1. Like those two.
Pickens the number 1, CD Lamb's number 2 now. Yeah. I know he don't want to hear that, but at the end of the day, if CD comes back and can help you get more points on the board, that's all that matters. You're trying to get a championship. You're not trying to worry about stats.
This is why I still say it. I said at the beginning of this year, I think Dallas is either going to be on the edge of getting a wild card spot or actually grabbing a wild card spot going into.
They're going to get a wild card spot, but also Dak is like number 3 in passing yards this year.
Yeah, I told you he's going to be fucking.
We know. We heard
MVP consideration.
He's not. No, not even close. It's Baker Mayfield. We already went over this.
No, I'm going to say he's in consideration. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but his name's going to be floated around.
Next game there, Timothy.
Let's get into Baker Mayfield here. Bucks 30 over the 49ers 19.
Did I call that? I picked the Bucks last week, didn't I? Tampa Bay and 49ers.
Yes, you did.
Hell yeah.
What did I pick?
Tampa.
Damn.
Okay.
Fuck you. So me you're gonna fuck that one up.
All 3 of us did.
Yeah, okay. I went 10-5, bro. I didn't miss very much last week.
Missed 5, though. Missed 5. I only missed 6, so right on your heels, bro.
Oh, you're not on my heels. You're still a ways away from me, brother.
Not really.
Anyways, Bucks 30 over the 49ers 19. Baker went 256 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. White went 65 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Johnson 64 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Compared to the 49ers, Jones went 347 yards passing. Mac Jones has been looking like a stud since they put him in there, and I wonder if they even take him out and put Purdy back in because Mac Jones.
No, you don't. You do not. He is playing.
Yeah, I think
he is playing really good. He's passes for 300 yards every game, pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't fucking take that away.
McCaffrey got held to 54 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, and then Bourne 142 yards receiving. So that's a good week for Bourne. McCaffrey kind of got held back, and I've been noticing throughout the league, a lot of these fucking big time rushers, they're not getting shit. Yeah, like
no,
everybody's onto their shit. I mean, Henry had his first over 100-yard game
this year.
I think the first game of the year he had over 100, and after that he hasn't had shit.
No.
So we're in week 6 and he finally broke 100 again. But yeah, I mean, we all guessed obviously the Bucks were going to win that 49ers, but they also didn't have Fred Warner. Fred Warner was out hurt, and that's a big piece of their defense.
He's out for the year.
Yeah, like that's a huge part of their defense. So let's see how they can come back from that.
He is their defense.
And then this is the game that we all probably don't want to.
I'm 51. Jason's 54. You're 58. See, I'm only fucking
7 games away.
Yeah, that's not shit. You'll fuck up 1 week.
Not really. If I just pick everybody that you pick, then I'm going to stay right there with you.
No, I'm going to start calling some wild cards here in a minute.
Anyways, let's get to the game that none of us really want to talk about. I'm still hurt over, but next week I'll feel differently. Chiefs 30, Lions 17.
And we all chose the Lions. I know that.
Yeah, we all chose the Lions. We all lost on this one. I mean, I think that might have been a pick with our hearts because if you go back to the beginning of the season when we were making our preseason predictions for the season, I picked the Chiefs to win this game.
That was a game we were worried about too.
And I said statistically they were due one.
But we were more worried about the Baltimore game than the Chiefs game because we were more worried about Lamar Jackson and all them. And we came out to Baltimore and just handed them the business.
I would have felt differently about this game than if this was played at Ford Field instead of Arrowhead. Arrowhead's a hard-ass place to play.
Well, we won in 2023 there. And
then we won again in the preseason. So we beat them the last 2 times that we've seen them.
Doesn't
I know it doesn't count, but it
does. But
But anyways,
we're not going to get into that.
I can get into why the Lions lost this game in a second, and it's beyond just officiating. No, it's beyond that too, and I'll give you some stats to back it up. Anyways, Mahomes 257 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Pacheco 51 yards rushing, Kelsey 78 yards receiving. Kelsey's actually looking really good this year.
He's definitely
he stepped it up from last year. Like
and the beginning of the season for the first 2 games he didn't do much. Now he's definitely starting to find his rhythm again. Yeah. He's that Taylor Swift power he's getting is definitely helping him out. He got engaged, and that's when he started going up. Yeah. So,
and I'll make a prediction about them in here in a minute. Beyond Mahomes for MVP. But let's get to the Lions at 17 points. Goff went for 203 yards passing, 2 touchdowns,
and caught a touchdown.
But it got called back, which I thought was bullshit. And I think if that would have counted, the Lions would have probably won this game because I'll explain that in a second. Gibbs, and this is the biggest reason why they lost. Gibbs, 65 yards rushing out of 17 attempts. Monty, 24 yards rushing out of 4 attempts. They held Sonic and Knuckles to less than 100 yards and no touchdowns. Like, anytime you do that, Lions are not winning.
Yeah, that's true. Our running game is a big part of our offense.
Yeah. Williams, 66 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. St. Brown, 45 yards receiving. You hold all those guys under 100 yards, you're not winning that game. That's the big thing. And there's a reason for that. We play better when we're ahead. They play a lot of play action. They can disguise that run in, and they can, fake it out, and they can pass. They don't play well out of the gun. And when they get behind, they feel that they need to pass the ball a lot more. And out of the gun, the Lions are not as effective as they are out of play action. So when you can stop them from trying to run the ball and hold them to those numbers, you're probably going to win a game. Now, was there a shit ton of bad calls in that game? Right out the gate with the callback of the touchdown, which I've never seen before. It was called a touchdown on the field, and then a minute and a half later, the refs threw a fucking flag and then pulled it back. And then Goff was arguing to reset the fucking play clock, and then they called him for a delay of game and put us right out of it. You know what I mean? If we would have got that. And I do understand that it is an illegal maneuver.
Yeah, that's why
it should have been a flag thrown.
It was a good call. I didn't like the call, but it was a good call.
It was a good call, but it was late. And it should have never been called late.
Yeah, if after it was already done, and everyone on the field said touchdown, it was done over with. You shouldn't be able to throw a flag.
Yeah, it's not reviewable. So why they can go a minute and a half later and throw a flag? Somebody called down and said that shit wasn't allowed.
Well, because the refs are allowed to get together and talk about it. It's like you should have that, but it should be 30 seconds.
And
like, is this wrong or is this not?
Yeah, this is gonna be the last time that you hear me talking bad about the Chiefs until the Super Bowl.
Fuck the Chiefs. They're bitches.
They got away with so much shit in that. Zero. I mean, the narrative is that 0 penalties were called against them, but
there
zero.
Were. And then that catch Travis Kelce had when the ball clearly hit the ground.
Yeah, that hit the ground, which the night later, I can't remember if it was in the Bills game or the fucking Commanders game, they actually called one incomplete that never touched the ground, which blew my fucking mind. But anyways,
just get robots
there
out there.
There was a lot of shit that was missed on that field. And to say, I mean, you break it down, to say that they got called for 0 penalties is kind of false.
Ridiculous.
No, it's kind of false because they did get called for 4 penalties, but the Lions declined all 4 of them because the yardage didn't make up the difference. The Lions gained more yards out of the deal. So they did get called for penalties, but they were never accepted. But other than that, dude, I saw so many fucking holding penalties, pass interferences. Like, you could just go down the list. I looked at this thing earlier. Somebody watched back the entire game, and they said they saw egregiously 17 times that the Chiefs should have been called for penalties that they never were. Now, that's the only time I will admit that this year, and that's because they were playing my Lions.
No, it won't.
Other than that, they can get away with whatever they want because I'm right back on the Chiefs train after this week. But when they play the Lions, obviously I'm a Lions fan. I'm going to root on the Lions. And it was hard enough to watch that game to begin with because I'm a fan of both teams, that when the Chiefs are doing good, I want to like, yeah. And then it's like, no, like I can't because I want the Lions to win. Fuck. Like that. Those are hard ones for me to watch because I'm a fan of both teams.
So what happens if they both make the Super Bowl?
Well, that's my prediction.
You're just not going to watch it because you're going to be so confused on who to cheer for?
No, I would 100% cheer for the Lions either way, but it's still a little bit conflicted because I'm such a big fan of both teams. But still, Lions always have my heart. You know what I mean? It was the team that I rooted for growing up. It's a team that my family rooted for. I remember sitting there watching it with my Uncle Ryan. I mean, I have a shirt hanging over there, my Uncle Ryan's shirt, just hanging on the wall. I mean, that thing's old. It's still back when fucking, it was Reebok.
Now that I see, that is pretty fucking old.
Yeah, it was still when Reebok was a sponsor for the NFL. But anyways, fucking like my prediction before I get to the last 2 games that I wrote down, the Chiefs are coming into form right now. We saw it. That offense is fucking humming. Defense is playing really well. They're only going to get better after this week because Rashee Rice comes back this week. Patrick Mahomes is playing at levels that he hasn't played at in 3 years. And that's why I think he's going to be in MVP discussions this year because, I mean, he's fucking been getting hot and he's running again like he hasn't done in the last few years. He's their leading fucking rusher right now on the team. Like, he's just taking off and running. He's playing like he did 3 years ago. No signs of injury with him. He's healthy. He's playing like old Mahomes. I think he's going to be, I'm going to call him right now MVP. And I really do think Chiefs go back to Super Bowl this year. The AFC is weak. I mean, let's look at it. The Ravens are supposed to compete with them. They're 1-5. The Bills just dropped their last 2. They don't look very strong. Fucking Bengals are nowhere to be found. I mean, who's going to compete with the Chiefs this year? Chargers in Denver? Maybe, but they're so up and down.
Hold on. So you got Indianapolis.
Yeah, but I just don't think that they're going to carry out that far. They're doing really good right now, but I think they're going to start slowing down.
New England's playing pretty decent.
They're playing, but they're not going to compete with the Chiefs, bro.
You got the Chargers.
Chargers are so up and down right now.
Denver.
Chargers are like floating at, like in Denver are both floating like right there, and they're so up and down. I don't see that offensive
Isn't Denver
output.
like 4-1?
I don't see the offensive output that they need to beat a team like the Chiefs, especially after the Chiefs get rolling. You need to have that offensive
We'll talk about those
outfit.
the weeks they play.
But I'm just saying, I think Chiefs are going back to Super Bowl this year. I just seen it in the last 2 games. The way that they're playing now reminds me of 2023 Chiefs, 2019 Chiefs.
Okay, we get it.
They're playing hot. Anyways, we'll move on. Do you have any feedback from you guys on the Lions' performance this week?
Besides Brian Branch slapping Juju Smith-Schuster like a bitch and getting suspended, no, not really. That was not a good call. Not a good thing for him to do, but I get he was very frustrated, and he walked 12 yards out of his way to just go to Juju and do that. And
do you see why he did that though?
I did see why.
Yeah, that blindside hit that he took on one of the last
But it's still,
plays.
you got it.
You don't do that because now he just hurt the team.
Exactly. You're going to be out for the Monday night game against Tampa Bay, which Tampa Bay is playing really hot right now. We could use him, but you didn't just hurt yourself and make yourself look bad. You hurt the team. And, and I love that Dan Campbell went to the podium and apologized right away, said, we don't do that. We are not, that is not okay. Apologize to the, Chiefs and Andy Reid. He did first thing. That's why I give it to him. He did first thing, didn't just talk about anything else. He's like, I'm going to address this right now. And he handled it like a man, like he should have, because it's not. And he even said, he's like, I love Brian Branch, but you don't do that. You don't. I get your emotions are high and all that. You lost. Shake hands, walk off the field like a man. It does happen, but you just got to, at the end of the day, you just got to take your licks and get out of there, man.
That was a good lick to take at a good time because I think it's going to wake them up. And anytime the Lions take a loss, they get a kick in the teeth. They come back even stronger, which I think they're going to need against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they will, but it's going to be hard without, one of our star free safeties back there with Kirby Joseph, and he's hurt too. And so it's like,
hey, the shit talker's available again.
Huh?
The shit talker's available again.
That's true.
Fucking Ravens just released him.
That is true.
He might
Can
be
I just
something.
say something real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Tim, you said something. Who is going to compete with Kansas City in the AFC? Because the AFC is a lot weaker than we anticipated coming in.
Bring him down to reality, Jason. Bring him down to reality. He needs it. He was all fucking Chiefs fanboy right there. 2023, Patrick Holmes is running, blah, 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 blah. Bring him down to reality.
You know who I think is going to come in from the back door and be a bigger threat than most people would anticipate is Pittsburgh.
He's right. You are right. You are right.
I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers is so up and down. One game he looks like a superstar. The next game he looks like a chump.
No,
I agree. But I also feel like a motivated Aaron Rodgers is as deadly of a quarterback as anybody in the National Football League. And I feel like he has a lot to say in this season with this team.
Did you hear what he said in his press conference after he won? Or on the field interview?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, did you hear what he said?
Yes.
He's like, oh, they were talking, oh, you're first in the AFC South or AFC North and all that. How do you feel? He's like, well, I played, a lot in the NFC North and all that. It's kind of the same. And, it's good to be up top, but this is a very tough division, just like I was in with the NFC. I'm like, yeah, he's right.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. 100%. Like it is definitely a tough division to win. And he's at the helms right now, but you are correct, Jason. The Steelers are, I feel like will be the sleeper, will be in the AFC Championship game against these fucking Chiefs. And Aaron Rodgers is going to take Patrick Holmes and just slap him around a little bit and show him whose dad he is.
Because we spent so much time here in the last handful of weeks talking about Baltimore, talking about Buffalo, talking about Kansas City.
Cincinnati too, until Joe Burrow got hurt.
Right. Nobody really paid any attention to Pittsburgh, but now they're low key coming in and be like, no, we're still here. We're not making the noise that all these other teams are. We're not garnering the attention that all these other teams are. But you're starting to see the chinks in the armor, especially with Buffalo. Because I went on the air and said the Buffalo Bills, the AFC is their conference to lose. And now we're starting to see these little chinks in the armor. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is just going in there and playing Pittsburgh football. And I feel like as long as he can stay healthy, Aaron Rodgers is going to lead this team very deep into the playoffs, and they're going to come out of nowhere, and nobody is going to be ready for them.
And another thing is like every week that Aaron Rodgers, gets more playing time with that staff and that team and all that, he's just going to get better, and it's showing right now. Like he's like, at first, you're right, Tim. It was it was up and down, but now he's starting to
mesh.
He's starting to get that chemistry with the players and the team and the coaches.
The one thing we have to always remember is they have one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game. He hasn't had a losing season in 23, 24 years.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Like
it's kind of fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, like he's one of the best coaches ever. And yeah, that team's going to do well, but I still don't think they compete on the level of a fully healthy and playing at their level. Like, I want you guys to come back in 3 to 4 weeks and tell me how you think the Chiefs are doing now, because I think this is when they turn it on and they go.
I think I agree with you. I think they will turn it on. But Jason, can you do me a side note?
Yes, sir.
Can you look up when the Chiefs or Pittsburgh Steelers schedule? See when they play. That is going to be a good week to pay attention. But I do agree with you. I think the Chiefs are going to turn it on now. Like, Kelsey's getting in a rhythm. Mahomes is getting in a rhythm. They're starting to get their players back. They're going to be a serious threat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to count out Josh Allen because Josh Allen is very good in the Buffalo
he could
Bills.
do Josh Allen things
they
at
got,
any time.
And they got 2 losses yet. So that might wake them up like, hey, we lost 2 in a row. We got to really turn around. Granted, last night was against an NFC team, so it doesn't really hurt their standings in the playoffs for AFC, but still, it is 2 losses.
Yeah. I mean, and they just have to, if they want to stay out ahead of the Chiefs, they have to just try to keep winning, because I think the Chiefs are about to go on a roll. But while Jason was looking at these last 2 games real quick.
Go for it.
So we can get to our predictions. I know Jason has to go to work. Falcons 24 over the Bills 14. We talked about this a little bit. Penix Jr. at 250 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 170 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Fucking crazy numbers.
I thought it was 180 and like 63 yards receiving.
I didn't know that 170 rushing plus he had receiving. I
thought it was 180 and 1. Okay,
because his leading receiver was London at 158 yards receiving, 1 touchdown.
With a touchdown too.
Yeah. And then Josh Allen 180 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Cook 87 yards rushing, and Palmer 60 yards receiving. They kind of held the Bills back to like nothing.
They did. They
made them look foolish
but that Falcons defense is.
I know Allen threw 2 fucking picks in that game too, especially one on the last drive.
But the Falcons defense is more to be concerned about than we thought it was.
Yeah,
they're definitely a lot better team than we thought they was, and Junior's definitely coming into his own in the league, and
he's coming to his own. But I want to see how he handles it as the season goes on.
Now the Falcons need to do is find out who they need. Who needs a quarterback and get rid of Kirk Cousins?
That would make sense because they're paying him a shit ton of money
to sit on the bench
over 4 years to sit on the bench. He's the highest paid backup in the league.
Yeah, but continue with your next game.
Bears 25, Commanders 24. This was actually a close, fun game to watch.
It was a very good game. Yeah, it was a very good game.
Caleb went 252 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Swift 108 yards rushing, 67 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Compared to the Commander side, Daniels 211 yards passing, 3 touchdown.
That's about it.
Krosky Merritt 61 yards rushing, and then Morris 46 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. It was a fun game to watch. It was a close back and forth, but I don't know what this says about the Bears, because just like I said about the Commanders, I know they were 3-2 to start this game, but the Commanders don't look like the Commanders of last year.
Well, they also don't have McLaren or there.
He'll be back in a few weeks.
Yep, they don't have their star receiver and all that. So yeah, there's some things like that, but I think Ben Johnson's starting to get those Bears into what he wants, and I think late in the season they're going to be tough.
Well, he's got them over 500 now, which we need to make a quick prediction real quick before we move on to our picks. Ben Johnson's at 3-2, and Aaron Glenn's at 0-6. How long before Aaron Glenn is fired, or do you think they hold on to him?
They're going to hold on to him the whole season, see what happens.
But that's usually not a Jets move.
It's not, but I think they would. I don't know. I think they will hold on to him. See, unless he goes 0-10, then I think they'll fire him. 0-10, I think if he doesn't win the game after week 10, I think he's fired, and I think he'll come back to Detroit.
I don't think we'd want him back now. I really like Kelvin Shepard.
I do too.
I think he's smarter. I think he plays the guys a little bit smarter, even though our backs our DBs are hurt right now. I think he definitely plays the game a little bit smarter. I'm really happy with Shepard. Aaron Glenn, I think, was a little bit more. I know people say that Shepard was more aggressive, but I think he's aggressive in a different way than what
he is.
Aaron Glenn was. So I don't think he would come back. I don't think that job's open.
We'll see. I think if the Jets go 0-10, they'll fire Aaron Glenn. What do you think, Jason? What's your opinion on that?
I think he's got 3 more weeks.
Okay, then.
Because I know the Titans already got rid of their fucking coach after a 1-5 start.
Yep. I think it was. All right, so when do the Steelers play the Chiefs?
They don't.
Really?
Playoffs.
They don't.
Wow. Okay, then that's going to be interesting. So their first matchup could be the divisional round.
It could be. All right, let's get to our picks so Jason can get through this and get his ass to work.
All right, let's look at week 7 in the National Football League. It's going to start
Speaking
Thursday
of
night. Oops, hang on. Sorry about that. Pittsburgh is going to be in Cincinnati to play the Bengals. I am going Pittsburgh on this.
Yeah, I'm taking
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. You know, even though Joe Flacco's there at Pittsburgh, still got the upper hand.
All right. The early games for Sunday: Rams at they're playing Jacksonville. The Jaguars. I'm going Jacksonville on this.
I'm going Rams. Going Rams.
I want to take Jacksonville too. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing pretty good this year.
He didn't play that great last week, did he? They lost last week.
The Minnesota Vikings hosting the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fuck.
I know
this is a hard one.
I'm going Vikings.
Dude, the way that the Eagles are falling apart on the fucking sidelines throughout that game, it goes, I don't know, but like, I feel they need it more than the Vikings do. So who's going to fight harder? Eric, you pick first.
I want to wait for you to pick. That's what I want to hear.
I'm going to go Eagles.
Damn, I'm going to take the Eagles too. I think they're going to really they're going to pull their heads out of their ass and be like, we need to at least beat the Vikings, but take the Eagles.
Okay. Tennessee Titans hosting the New England Patriots.
Patriots. Drake May's a fucking beast this year.
Yeah.
Who'd you pick, Jason?
New England.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm also going to be going with the Carolina Panthers again this week as they go against the winless New York Jets.
I'm going Panthers. They actually looked really fucking good last week. The Panthers have a good little fucking system down there.
Yeah.
And they can compete, and definitely better than the Jets can.
I'm going to take the Panthers, but Jason, 1 second, go back. I'm going to take the Vikings with you. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to take the Vikings. Something's telling me the Vikings are going to win that game.
Something's telling me it's going to be a close game, and my fucking heart's telling me the Vikings. My brain is telling me the Eagles. I could be wrong on that.
Well, I'd go with your heart. So, but I'm happy you're going with your head. So
it's bit me the last few weeks in a row.
Miami will be in Cleveland.
Oh, fuck.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland.
All right, I'm going to go Miami.
All right.
New Orleans is going to be playing the Chicago Bears.
We'll go the Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah, I am too. Although my heart, I don't know, something. No, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. So I have a feeling. You know what I mean?
I hope your feeling's right.
Me too. Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Las Vegas Raiders.
Man,
Chiefs. I think they're on a roll, dude. And they got Rashee Rice back this week.
Yeah, but the Raiders always play the Chiefs tough because
they do. It's a divisional matchup.
Crosby gets in freaking Crosby gets in Patrick Mahomes' face all the time. But the way the Chiefs played Monday night or Sunday night, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, go the last 2 weeks the way they played.
Yeah.
Like they've turned it on.
Yeah,
Jason?
I am also going to go with the Chiefs here.
Yeah.
And then the late games this week, the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh God, that's a tough
Chargers.
fucking game.
Who you got, Jason?
Indianapolis.
Where you going, Tim?
I'm gonna go Indy.
I'm going Indy too.
All right. The Giants will be in Denver to play the Broncos.
Man, that's
another fucking tough matchup because the Broncos are good, but they haven't been high output offense. But their defense is.
I'm gonna go with that defense. I'm going Denver.
I also am going with Denver.
The Denver's defense is better than New York's.
Yeah, I'll go Denver.
Okay.
Although, I think it's going to be a close fucking game, but I think the defense is going to hold them back a little bit.
Green Bay Packers will be visiting the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go Packers on this.
I'm going Packers too because Cardinals still have a backup QB, even though I think he went for 300 something fucking yards.
He did go pretty good, but I'm going to go Packers.
Yeah, I'll go Packers.
Okay. Dallas Cowboys hosting the Washington Commanders in a big rivalry game, a divisional game.
Commanders.
This one's tough because fucking the Cowboys' offense is fucking running so hard.
They get CD Lamb
and they get CD back, but at the same time, their defense fucking sucks. Fuck, this one could be a toss-up.
Who are you taking, Jason?
Washington.
Who are you taking, Tim?
I'm gonna go Dallas.
Okay. Sunday night football, we'll see the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Atlanta Falcons.
Falcons.
That's who I'm going with.
The way the Falcons played last night against the Bills, I'm like, 49ers are going to be tough, but not that tough. I'm going to go Falcons.
You know, if 49ers had Fred Warner, I'd pick the 49ers, but they don't.
Yeah, you lost your star linebacker.
Yeah, even though their offense still hummed last week, they still
BJ
lost that
Robinson
game.
just put up over 150 yards.
I'm going to go Atlanta Falcons, too. That offense looked fucking unstoppable.
And their defense looked great, too. You held Josh Allen to under 200 passing yards.
Falcons. I think we're all Falcons there.
Yep. We have a Monday night doubleheader this week.
Again? Why is there so many doubleheaders on Monday night?
Sick of that shit.
So am I.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be in Motown to play the Detroit Lions.
Are we picking with their hearts or our brains?
What are you picking, Jason?
I'm going Lions because they're at home. It is a different team at home. If this was in Tampa Bay, I gotta be honest, I would probably be going with the Bucs here. But it is Ford Field. Detroit, when they get spanked, they come back with a vengeance. I'm going Lions here.
Yeah, I'm going Lions.
I'm going Tampa Bay because week 2
You're fucking traitor.
No, I'm not. I'm going my heart because week 2 we lost to Tampa Bay last year at home on prime time. I'm going Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield under the lights is something different, man.
Okay.
My heart, I'm hoping the Lions win, but I just think Tampa Bay is going to do it. I think the way they're playing this year, I think they got it.
All right. And then closing out week 7 will be the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Houston Texans.
Another good matchup, dude.
I'm going Seattle with this.
I'm going Seattle too.
Seattle.
Sam Darnold's been looking really good up there in Seattle.
JSN has put up over 100 yards every game the last couple games. He's found his mojo with Sam Darnold.
But we only have a few on that list that we could swap picks because a lot of us picked the same fucking
We did.
people.
That's why I was like, I know. I'm hoping some of my picks pay off.
Some of them wild cards in there. Yeah.
All Jacksonville and Tampa Bay and
I can't believe I fucking picked the Eagles again. God damn.
You can change your pick now. It's still there.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay. I'm like, I picked the Eagles first, but I thought about it. I'm like, no, if something's telling me to take the Vikings, I'm happy I did.
Okay, here's your last chance because once I close the book, it's done.
It's closed.
No,
3,
it's closed.
2, 1.
It's done.
Boom.
The only pick I wish I could have changed was Dallas. I kind of wanted to take Dallas, but I think Washington's going to come back after a close game and win it.
It's such a close game because both teams are so evenly matched up. They're high-powered offenses with not great defenses. You know what I mean? I think Washington has a little bit better of a defense than what Dallas does at this point in time, but I think Dallas edges them out on offensive output this year. So it's like it's tossed up. It's
Well, you got Tim's 2 minutes of golf or something?
No, because there wasn't I think we had the BMW championship last week, but I couldn't fucking pick out a name that played in it. It's going to be probably a couple more weeks till they start playing some tournaments back in the U.S. Get some big names back in it. So no Tim's 2 minutes of golf. I'm sorry, golf fans. But just there was no fucking standouts this past week. Nothing to really rely on. We're kind of in the off season for golf right now.
Okay. Well, we're not in the off season for because it's been 2,145 days since OSU's beat Michigan. So just gonna throw that out there.
Rock on.
All right. We appreciate everybody who tuned in here tonight, and those of you who tune into the RSS feed on
0
demand.
comments.
It has been real quiet.
It's weird. Usually you got Dave in there talking shit. Usually you got quite a few people in there talking shit.
We have other people watching right now, but nobody's commenting.
Nothing.
People have been in the room, but
they just want to listen.
Nobody's commenting. It made it an easy night for me because usually I fucking fuck around in the chats all night long and spend less time talking on the podcast because I'm fucking around in the chats. But yeah.
Lead us off, Jason.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. And one more time, if you haven't done so already, hit the like and follow and share button on the Sports Real Podcast Facebook page. And stay tuned to all of the late news and information on this show and all of our great shows over at pfcnetwork.net. With that, go out this week, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you next week right here on the Sports Reel podcast, live on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Go Lions!
Go Lions! Go Red Wings!
Go Red Wings! I mean, Tigers are done. Pistons will